So it's everybody's favorite segment of the show. Of course, it is always the Curator Chronicles.
Batter up. We're taking the afternoon off. It's a beautiful day for a ball game. For a ball game today. The fans are out to
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Curator here for another edition of the Curator's Chronicles, coming to you live from Riverside, California. This day in Angels history, June 28th, in the grand old year of 1986.
A pretty good year.
1986, yeah. How old were you?
6?
I was
5?
4.
5. I was 5.
I think it was the first year I went to an Angels game, actually.
I was
86. All right, 80 what?
I was -1.
-1.
-1
All right,
for Dan.
you may have been in the womb. All right, so coming from a book, as always, Angels Journal by John Snyder, 1986, this day in Angels history. In a matchup between the Indians and Angels at Anaheim Stadium, the starting pitchers are 300 game winners Phil Niekro and Don Sutton. Niekro entered the fray with 304 wins and Sutton with 301. It was the first time that 300 game winners met each other since Tim Keefe of the New York Giants and Pud, what a cool name is that, Galvin with the Pittsburgh Pirates faced off in the grand old year of 1889. Neither Niekro nor Sutton were involved in the decision as the Angels scored 6 runs in the 8th to win 9-3. So I guess my thoughts on all of this is it's pretty crazy that 2 300 game winners face off, and
Never will ever happen.
and in this day and age, 300 wins is kind of hard to come by, and two together.
Yeah, I don't think 300 is going to happen. I think with ever again.
Just the limit on pitch
the
count.
pitch count, the way they use the openers now, you're already taking an inning away from a starter.
Complete games are just hard to come by. Secondly, when I think of Don Sutton, I always think of like his gray kind of like
Curly
afro,
hair.
and I just thought he looked like he had to be like almost 50.
Yeah, I felt like he was old back then. When I'm talking like you're right, like he was like in his 50s already.
And
But he
Phil
wasn't.
Niekro, if you think about Phil Niekro,
Oh yeah,
he looks super old.
throwing junk, knuckleballs, stuff like that. And when I was a kid, I always thought that these major leaguers looked really old.
Yeah, especially
And maybe not even like super athletic.
right.
And then now it just seems so different, the landscape of the game. So just every time I see Don Sutton, I was at when I grew up, my grandma had a Polaroid picture of her and Don Sutton on her mantle, and it was like at a car dealership.
Curly hair. He did look. I think he was probably like what, late 30s, maybe even like early 40s when he was with the Angels, and
He probably looked like he was in his mid-50s. Just because of the curly gray hair that he had.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember that curveball, too.
But all right.
That's it. It was
Cool.
a short one.
Well, the fans want Curator's Chronicles every week. They clamor for it, so
Do they?
they do. We get emails about it, right?
All right, man. Thank you. Thank you,
All right,
fans, for keeping me on the show.
Awesome. Well, that's
Keep on sending in your comments and thoughts, and I promise you, I'll try to get here more.
Yeah, he
now.
big times us. Like August
Whatever.
25th. Anyway, you have listened to another edition of the Curator's Chronicles.